Right, tonight at about 3 in the morning UK time, I am going to be stood in a friend's kitchen chewing someone's ear off. No, I'm joking. Chelsea are playing ES Tunis.
Tunis, yeah, Esperance. There's an Esperance in there.
Oh my God, by the way, did you see we got hit on Twitter with the old London Blue?
No.
Oh.
What?
Oh, Flamengo.
Oh, they dropped the London Blue.
They dropped the London Blue.
I did actually see that. Can I just say, for a game which we didn't give a fuck about, they really cared about winding us up. Like I wasn't even saying anything to Flamengo fans. There was no banter going on. I didn't really. No, you weren't doing tweets going, "Fucking hell, Flamengo is shit." They're like little bugs that we crush under our feet.
I don't really tweet.
Fair enough. It's actually a good thing. They celebrated that victory like they'd won a World Cup.
Yeah.
And fair play to them. It's their biggest game of the season.
Yeah. That was sort of Arsenal Bernabeu-esque. The way they celebrated
it was.
That victory.
It really was. Considering that third goal was one of those goals you score in a Sunday League match.
And it was the biggest.
That's one of your best goals.
Biggest moment of their season.
Yeah.
A season which, by the way, is their season ongoing?
Yes.
Oh.
It might be.
Oh.
I've heard rumours.
So they wouldn't be suffering at all from ring rust.
But you never suffer from ring rust either.
No. They wouldn't be suffering at all from the boys having tired legs or having one too many of the
cervezas.
The devil's apple juice.
Oh, is that what you've been on the last week?
Yeah. Mate, I tell you what, right? The Spanish.
They don't like you, do they?
I tried to fly home with Vueling.
That was your first mistake.
Never fly home with them. Never fly home with them. No. Then I flew home with Wizz Air.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Take a whiz.
Yeah. Honestly, if I told you
double-decker seating,
how much extra at the airport I had to pay because of a fuck up that I didn't even make yesterday, it would make you feel sick to the pit of your stomach.
Are you going for compensation?
It's to the point I can't get no compensation. Yeah. It's to the point where we need to speak about really drumming up some brand deals.
Okay, fair enough.
How much do you think I paid to fly us all home?
500 quid.
I fucking wish I paid 500 quid.
This is why you just book BA and just get on with it, mate. Like, can I just say to everyone now in watching this video, primarily to the ones that are watching in the UK, budget airlines are a scam. You can just pay more money, slight more money, like let's say 20 quid more each. Just fly with BA. You'll have never had a problem. You would never, ever have a problem. And then, by the way, you always have to pay for food when you're on the flight. You always have to pay for speedy boarding. You have to pay for extra luggage. You go to BA, you never have to pay any of that shit. Just go BA. It's actually probably cheaper because you have to go to a shit airport. What airport did you fly out of?
Malaga?
No, in the UK.
Gatwick?
Difficult.
Yeah.
Just go Heathrow.
Yeah.
Heathrow's nearer to you.
I bet the thought of seeing like London Luton or London Stansted next to a flight just makes you feel sick.
Honestly, I would have a panic attack.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
Have you seen that
Instagram reel when he goes, "Oh, I had to travel in economy class. It's like cattle."
Was that Elliot again?
I think it might have been Elliot. Yeah.
Big up, put me on for a second. Put me on, Elliot. Get in touch with the fucking podcast. We'll make a rugby video. I don't give a fuck. We need to get this boy down.
Listen.
Chelsea.
Speaking of
fair play,
mate. Right. The Flamengo loss, or Flamingo, however I pronounce it.
Who gives a fuck?
That loss was damaging for a few reasons to me. Oh. Firstly, right, because as you say, they did, they really went to town on it. They really went to town. They bathed in all their glory, something that we've never really done on
They
this
brought
channel.
out Pez, which ultimately is the biggest fuck up of the century, isn't it?
Well, there you go.
That's really putting the knife in when you're bringing up Pez.
Yeah, there you go. So that was annoying. The most annoying thing for me was I wanted to have the group wrapped up by the final game. Actually, the way I'm seeing things pan out in a few of the other groups, right, is that wouldn't have necessarily been the way.
No,
because
it
I've seen
wouldn't
a few
necessarily
teams.
have helped.
I've seen a few teams that have missed out. Well, I've seen a team. I can't think who it was earlier on. It said, "Oh, they've been eliminated." Blah blah blah. I looked and
It's Atletico.
Atletico, yeah.
Atletico finished on 6 points.
6 points.
They went out on goal difference. Yeah, but 3 teams had 6 points, didn't they?
I know. Yeah, no, I know. But I'm just saying, like,
That's surprising.
yeah. It's not going to happen now in our group, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
I was originally thinking, and what I'm saying is it could have happened, and I was originally thinking, brilliant. By the time we faced this Tunisian team, is it?
Yeah, Tunisian,
right?
yeah.
By the time we faced this Tunisian lot, we're already going to have one foot, I don't want to say in the final,
Can I ask you a question?
but in the final.
Do you want us to be in the Club World Cup?
Eh?
And do you want us to be in the Club World Cup?
Yeah.
Because, like now, do you still want us to be in the Club World Cup? Because my rationale is this, right? The obvious answer is to say, of course you want to be in the Club World Cup. We want to try and get the £100-odd million prize money that you would get for potentially winning it. You get all the prestige, you get the coefficient points. You probably qualify for the next Club World Cup as a result, right? But what happens if it affects the start of the Premier League season? What happens if we do get to the final?
Do you know
the boys
what?
have got 2.5 weeks off. And then we start the Premier League and we're shit.
My answer to that is this. I like to treat my Club World Cups the way that I like to treat my affairs.
Okay.
Yeah? Only once a year.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yep.
In the summer. Ideally with Americans. And think about the implications afterwards.
What stays on tour goes on tour. Is it that way round?
There you go. There you go.
Fair enough. Well, you have just outed yourself publicly there.
Yeah. Fair play, mate. Fair play. Listen, I want to speak to you about a man that I named the Enigma. Astrid Wet has named him a few different things.
Okay.
Nicholas Jackson. Listen, right? I think that there is a duty of care, right? And I always talk about this.
A duty of care. We're not doing a true crime episode.
There's a
Joey.
duty of care, right? When you are on YouTube, yeah, and you're like me and you've got 100,000 subscribers, and literally
114 to be precise.
You can't walk out the door without everyone just going, "Oh my fucking god, it's that bloke that sits in his bedroom and talks about Chelsea," and everyone's just on you.
Cole Palmer does do that quite often to you.
Yeah. There you go. You're a recognisable figure. I don't know. I'm not going to say top 10, 20 in the world. I don't know where you'd put me, but you're a very recognisable.
Definitely top 15.
Yeah, definitely top 50 in the world. You're a very recognisable figure. I think you have a duty of care, to not go in too hard on people. But
Okay.
Nicholas Jackson's making it hard for me because he came, I loved him. He stayed, I fucking hated him. Then he improved and I loved him again. Then I just went, oh God, like I haven't fallen out of love with you, but I'm now starting to think I could cheat on you. And I'm not on about with creme de la creme. I'm on about with pub grub from Oceania. Do you know what I mean?
It's another affair, is what you're trying to say.
I feel like having an affair on Nicholas Jackson, and I don't feel like hiding it either.
Wow.
And you're about to see when you see the team sheet in a second, I'm not going to hide it either. First season, he picks up 10 yellow cards in the league, right? That doesn't tell the tale because obviously what comes with X amount of yellow cards, which conveniently for Jackson, he always picked it up in the right time periods. He doesn't do a Caicedo. He doesn't get that one away from the suspension, but you know that if you can just get through the next 3 matches without getting one, they get wiped. Jackson can't do that. If he hears you're 1 match away from a suspension, he'll ask to be subbed back on just so he can get booked again, or he get booked on the touchline. So he can never get wiped, right? So he served multiple suspensions in that first season. So although he never got a straight red, he served multiple suspensions in that first season. Although we look at this period of time as being pre-season, this technically isn't pre-season. This is technically a continuation of last season, no?
Yeah, well, technically yes, but I would always class it at the beginning of this season. But
I class it at the beginning of this season. Class it at the beginning of this season as well. But if we win the Club World Cup, it will go down as a trophy that we won for the season that we won the Conference League. Yeah, there you go. Right,
it'll be a very successful year, therefore.
Very successful year. However, for Nicholas Jackson, that means he has now picked up Doffe.
two
Red
reds
card.
in the last 4 games.
Dofe
Redos.
Sorry. I've just come back from Spain.
Yeah, don't want to go on about it.
Don't keep going on about it. I don't want to make a big
how do
deal
you say
of it.
cards in Spanish?
How do I say cards?
Yeah.
I don't play cards.
Any other Spanish vocabulary for the audience?
Whatever you want. Ask me anything.
2 beers, please. As quickly as possible.
Dos cervezas, por favor.
Rapido.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't go that far, mate. I might be a bit of a pervert, but I'm definitely not a rapido. No, I'm joking. Right, moving on swiftly. Josh, what do we do about Jacko? What do we do about Jacko? Because the discipline problems are not getting any better by the seams of it.
I would go to. I would take a drive up the M6, and I would go to a certain good evening man. I would say to him, I've got a deal for you, Mr. Emery. I offer you a trade. The trade is Morgan Rogers, and you can have Nicholas Jackson. That's it. That's what I would do.
Would you actually do it?
Yeah. I'd quite like Morgan Rogers.
I love Morgan Rogers. I love Morgan Rogers.
Much like the director of football, I have a fetish.
But can I tell you what it is?
No, let me tell you what my fetish is
Go
first.
on,
my fetish is to build a Man City academy team in Chelsea blue. London blue.
Why?
That's what they want to do. That academy side was a golden generation, Joe.
No,
you should know that.
No.
You could complete the set with Morgan
All Man
Rogers.
City did was actually take Chelsea rejects.
That's basically true.
To basically build their project. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, can we sign Sean Wright Phillips back?
Can we sign Alano?
I know Robinho thinks he's coming to you, but can he come and sign for us? Oh, we've got no one at left back. Can we sign Wayne? Well, that one was a little bit dodgy.
Can we bring Ryan Dunn to Chelsea?
Yeah.
What a player.
Yeah, so, I don't really
but come on. We're signing Gidsons. We might as well complete the set and go for Rodgers. My feelings on Jackson are, I am a bit sick of the mentality at the moment. Forgo everything else. Forgo the chance creation, the conversion, the weird finishing, the weird runs, the lack of ability to head the ball. There's something in the mentality of a man that leads the line for Chelsea not being absolutely immense that will harm the rest of the team. And if he's playing on this thing where he's playing on eggshells from now on, which he will inevitably have to do, that kind of negates the raw skill for Jackson.
But can I tell you something?
And my final point before you do that is what I think is clear, bearing in mind the last 2 games, is that he will not be putting Nicholas Jackson on the left.
No.
So if you're in for an Ekitike and or any other backup strikers or versatile strikers, Jackson's position is in jeopardy.
But can I tell you something? The funny thing about everything, and I agree with everything you've just said there, and I understand it. And I understand that when you make decisions in football, the complexities are way, way deeper than just like, right, the here and now. Because sometimes the here and now in comparison to the now and the 12 months ahead of us can be really, really significant. So I've realised that the here and now isn't always as significant when it comes to striking these sort of deals as you'd like to think. But I've got something that overrides all of it for you.
Go on then.
And you're going to push back against it straight away, but I just want you to breathe, and then if you still want to push back against it, you can. But the thing that overrides all of that, and you're not going to like it, but Nicholas Jackson is a much better player right now than Morgan Rogers.
Disagree.
Mate, you are being led by the media narrative. And
so,
you don't realise...
Why is he better?
Just let me. You don't realise you're doing it. You don't actually realise you're doing it, right? Because some players are sexy and we cannot get enough of them. And they just are like everything they do. Like, so I said, for example, the ball that Nicholas Jackson put through for Pedro Neto's opener in the opening game of the Club World Cup.
Yes.
Yeah, Palmer onto Jackson.
Yeah.
Jackson slots that ball through.
Yeah.
What I'm saying...
Great pass.
Unreal pass.
Yeah.
Unreal pass.
If Cole Palmer did it, we'd be oozing.
We would be singing from the rooftops about it. If Kevin De Bruyne did it, the same. If Damsgaard did...
Odegaard.
If Odegaard did it, the same.
Damsgaard still as well. He's great.
Even Damsgaard, tripping little player. Little player.
Yeah.
Needs a hairline sorted, but a tripping little
We'll get him the deal. We'll all go together.
We'll get him the deal. But what I'm saying is that what Nicholas Jackson just did there, right, got any attention?
Not really, no.
Not really, no.
Not really.
Did anyone, including us lot, the ones that are very fair on Nicholas Jackson, really give him any praise?
No, we didn't. And no Chelsea fans did. But the Liam Delap cross got a lot of.
There you
got
go.
a lot of praise in it.
There you go.
And a lot of swaz on it.
What I'm saying is this. And believe me, I'm guilty of it. It's not a thing of me going, this shouldn't happen in football. I like that we get excited. Getting excited is what life's fucking about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Looking forward to the holiday is often better than the holiday.
Was it this time round as well?
It is when you have to pay $2 grand to fly everyone home. But what I'm saying is, right, I think that sometimes we have young players that burst on. Predominantly, they'll be English players because we know that we can get excited about them. Who's Morgan Rogers playing for, by the way? Is he declared for England?
Yeah, he's English. Yeah. He's been playing games for the under-21s.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, I just for some reason I had it in my head that he had played for another nation.
I think he might have.
Did he make under youth level appearances for?
I don't think
someone?
under 21 level.
I don't know. Either way, right? We get excited about him. He's English. I know I've sat on the kickoff and early on, right?
Yeah.
You know, like when they've made like a few, and I'm like, oh, I'm not a football manager man like Josh, but they've made a few, and I'm like, oh, I could look like a bit of a genius here, and I go, fuck me, he's good that Morgan Rogers fella. So I very much can taste the flavour, right? And can you now? I know you're not going to agree with me at the end, but am I starting to bring you round to what I'm saying is the flavour on a Morgan Rogers is better than the flavour on a Liam Delap. I believe. Sorry, not on a Liam Delap. On a Nicholas Jackson. I believe that a Morgan Rogers could make a contribution in a match that is exactly equal as what Nicholas Jackson makes.
Yeah.
But I believe that we and the pundits and stuff like that would hold the Morgan Rogers one subconsciously in higher regard.
Yeah.
Can you kind of see
I think there is a bias again towards English players potentially, and I think also with the fact that he would be linking up with a lot of the people that he already knows, like a Liam Delap, Cole Palmer, Lavia, Gittins coming in as well. There'd be a lot of continuity, let alone the manager, by the way. So there would be a lot of reasons to bring a Rodgers in. And I think his impact for Villa and his performances have been very, very good. And I think he's almost undroppable. The caveat to everything that we're saying is, where does he play for Chelsea? Because really he wants to be playing in Cole Palmer's position, doesn't he? And so fitting him in is a good problem to have. And yes, I can understand a rationale to say getting rid of Nicholas Jackson, therefore, isn't a smart move. But what you're doing is you're not putting in the context of other movements that could be happening in the rest of the window. And I mean this from a fact of, if they gave us 50 million for Nicholas Jackson, which I don't think is a crazy amount of money, bearing in mind he's on a 9-year contract that has just been recently signed, and you know his potential and value, I don't think that's crazy money to sort of ask for.
Depending on who you're on about. I mean, he bangs you.
He'll bang you 15 goals next season.
I'm not on about in England.
Who are you talking about?
I'm about in Italy.
Okay, how many goals did he score in Serie A?
Nicholas Jackson,
Yeah,
Serie
go
A.
on, go on.
You're joking.
No, go on, tell me, how many do you think? I'd be interested to know how many do you think. 20 odd?
32.
Really?
Yeah.
God, you think he's that standard? Wow.
Yeah.
That's surprising. I think that the point I'm trying to make is, would I be more excited about Ekitike? And that's a debate I'm willing to have in my own brain. I think a lot of Chelsea fans would argue that Ekitike will be a better player.
My problem with Morgan Rogers, and you know what, right? To give a bit of credit, I knew you were going to go harsh against it, so I went in there for it. Actually, devil's advocate. Actually, if we weren't doing good cop, bad cop, I think we'd both agree that you're going to be no or probably not massively better off nor better worse, whether you had Nicholas Jackson or whether you had Morgan Rogers in there, right? No. Ultimately, it's horses for courses. Morgan Rogers had a brilliant season. I think it was 19 goal contributions in the league, something like that for Aston Villa. And that was an Aston Villa side that didn't have, they finished it off well, but didn't actually have for large periods the best.
They were crap at the start of the season.
Seasons. They were. And in a team that never felt led by Nicholas Jackson, one thing I can go, okay, yeah, Asensio when he came, Rashford a few times. But I would say that the player that I could go, you dragged your team over the line the most amount of times in that Villa team, maybe this season, being a casual Villa fan. Well, I'm not a Villa fan, but, being a casual one who maybe only watched 12 full 90s of them this whole season was probably Morgan Rogers. So, yeah, I'll make you right there. João Pedro, the talk about João Pedro coming to Chelsea Football Club's intensifying. I kind of thought that it was going to fall off when the Liam Delap deal happened. Now it's looking like that could also happen. It's a weird one because if we keep Nicholas Jackson and we then have a front line of, and you'd imagine that surely one would go out, right? But we then have a front line of Liam Delap, Nicholas Jackson, João Pedro, Mark Yu, right?
Those are you're classing all of those as centre forwards, I presume.
I'll get into that.
Yeah.
Mark Yu.
Yeah.
Right?
Fine.
So the first part of me goes depth, I like it, good. Attitude-wise, I think one of them's going to be getting 80% of the minute, so I don't see any problem with his attitude, and that being Liam Delap. We're yet to see what happens with Nicholas Jackson, and I'm gonna end on this when we finish this discussion. João Pedro, don't know what his attitude's like. Mark Yu, he understands the score. He's coming through. He's trying to break in. He could go out on loan. He might not. But just quickly, I want to take 1 minute to tell you guys about new partner of the channel, Nyla Apparel. I was lucky enough to be sent some clothes by these lot around a month ago, and I've got to be honest with you, since receiving them, they have become my go-to for both t-shirts and now for tracksuits. Now, I would not vouch for something unless I truly believed in the product, and anyone that's seen me out and about around town will know that I am wearing the Nyla t-shirts all of the time. The first thing I noticed about them was how good the quality was, and then when speaking to the guys at Nyla, I found out that the money spent on material in comparison to what the actual t-shirts are sold for is probably about 10 times less than you would usually sell a t-shirt for that cost at. Basically, I'm of the opinion that they're spending about the same on materials as you do most t-shirts in flannels, but instead of paying 200 to 300 quid, you're paying about 10 times less than that. Instead, you're looking at £32 for the t-shirts, including free shipping, and just over £100 for the tracksuits. No shade thrown here, but the other day I had my eyes on a Nike tracksuit in JD Sports. I got it, I went to the checkout, and I was nearly at the point of having a heart attack when I found out that tracksuits, I always assumed back in the day growing up, were 100 quid. They're now costing over 200 quid, and these ones are exactly the same quality. So if you want a great fit at a great price for clothing that suits all occasions, hit the link in the description and browse the Nyla website. Thanks again to Nyla Apparel for their support with the channel. Let's get back into the video. However, it will all depend on whether we do have 4 there. Now, if we have 4 there, right, I liken it to having 4 5s, and one of those 5s might this season end up being an 8 or a 9, right? And I don't mean number on the back of the shirt. Yeah. I mean 4 5 out of 10s when it comes to goal contribution. So what I would liken that to, right? Liam Delap's a traditional number 9, right?
Yeah.
But what I would liken it to is like an Arsenal front line a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got goals coming from all areas. Like, João Pedro's going to get you 9 to 12 goals, isn't he?
Arguably more. Because for Brighton, he got 16 goal contributions in the league last season.
Yeah, but is he going to be playing week in, week out for Chelsea?
Well,
and is he going to be...
I don't want to ruin your point, but I don't think that João Pedro will, bearing in mind Delap and bearing in mind a potential other striker signing, let alone Nicholas Jackson still being there, I think he will end up playing more on a wing than up front.
There you go, and that's why I liken it to the Arsenal system, because I think that
Yeah.
then if you look at the likes of a João Pedro, you could have someone like that contributing, and
Yeah.
this is more what I was thinking. So when I wasn't thinking 9 goals if he starts 38 games as a centre forward.
No.
I'm going
You're going
the
off.
Lap is spearheading this.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if anywhere in there we're going like João Pedro, I don't know, and Nicholas Jackson as well as Liam Delap, say the 3 of them in there, I think there's enough to contribute. Mark, we're not sure. But are we better off starting that with 4 lads who one of them could come good and could completely... And actually, the likelihood is that one will surpass expectation. It might not be unreal. It might not be Cole Palmer's breakthrough season surpass expectation, but the likelihood is that one of them guys is going to surpass expectation. The likelihood is also, from me watching it, that Pedro Neto is going to get more goals and assists next season.
Yeah.
That will just
No,
happen.
I think so.
It's like the Enzo Fernandez thing. That will just happen.
I think
So that's another thing that boosts the front line. I'm just saying, I think that now with the Liam Delap signing, and we're looking at, the stalling that's happened with the Gyökeres deal and Arsenal and whatnot. Osman, we're still not any closer. I know transfer's not officially open, but if we did go and get João Pedro...
It is open now, by the way.
It is,
Transfer,
sorry,
it's been open,
if we did go and get João Pedro, how would you feel about our front line going into next season if those 4 in Mark Hugh, João Pedro, Nicholas Jackson and Liam Delap were the 4?
I don't mind João Pedro as a ancillary option on the left, and also for covering Cole Palmer, bearing in mind he can't play every single minute of every single game, can he? And I think ultimately next season we really need to do better at this, where we are bringing Cole Palmer off for the last 30 minutes because he's going to be run ragged. He's going to be knackered. And so the way that I see that shaping up, I am excited by it. Now, the factor that you haven't considered yet is that there are strong rumours that we're getting this Omega guy in from Strasbourg, who's a striker, and that will be coming in the same summer that Quenda's coming in, which will be next summer. So they're already booking these deals in. So I have a horrible feeling that it will be João Pedro. I agree with you. I think that Ekitike will end up being priced out. Basically, we're not going to pay the transfer fee more than anything. The wages, I don't think, would necessarily be an issue, but the transfer fee of 84 million quid, which Frankfurt won't budge from. I mean, Frankfurt set their stall out very clearly. They go, this is his fee. If you want to pay it, you can pay it. We're not going to go below it. And so just get on with it. It's not a negotiation.
And how much less
is
would
João
Pedro be?
They're talking 50, 60 million from Brighton.
50, 60?
Yeah.
So it'd be about 20 mil less.
Yeah. Maybe even more. Maybe even more than that. It's a big difference.
It is a big difference. Am I
Big difference in quality, are you saying?
Am I being spoiled to say I want it to be a bit more or less? Like I'd want the João Pedro deal to be about 30, 40 mil.
It's Brighton. Like, you know what's going to happen. You know the game that we're playing right now. This isn't going to be an easy negotiation to do with Brighton. We've taken all of their fucking staff and their players. They're not going to give us a deal. And also, sorry to say it, but João Pedro is a worse player than Ekitike.
Yeah.
So he probably is naturally worth less. So my general point is, yes, we'll get by, but I honestly do think the fact that they're using the words Nicholas Jackson is not now untouchable means that he is on the market. Now, everyone will say this. Noni Madueke, not on the market. Nicholas Jackson, not on the market. If they're not untouchable, that means they're on the market.
I think everyone's on the fucking market.
No, there's a few players that
on.
aren't. There's a few players that aren't. Like Cole Palmer isn't on the market, is he?
Cole Palmer's not on the market.
Caicedo isn't on the market.
Caicedo's not on the market.
Enzo. You never know. You never know,
Mate,
with Enzo.
This is the first one where it's gone so well with Caicedo, and then say it started going really well with Andre Santos. And by the way, we're going to give our team sheet for tonight's game, so stick around because there's a spoiler alert there. But this is the one where and I never want it to happen, but if something crazy came in, 150 million, that's the only one that I go, I don't want to sell. Yeah. I wouldn't support a sell. Yeah. That's the only one where
everyone's
I go,
got a price.
Maybe not untouchable.
Yeah.
Maybe not untouchable. Who else would you say is untouchable? Obviously, Robert Sanchez.
Obviously, Mykhailo Mudryk. Yeah. And maybe Levi Colwill. I don't think they'd sell Levi now.
I don't think they'd sell it either. But I
No.
do think you left
Cucurella?
Cucurella, yeah.
Yeah.
Left him out. And the reason why he's untouchable?
There?
No, because of the money we spent on him originally. So the age he's coming up to now, he's pretty much the most senior player in the squad. And then because of the money we spent on him originally, unless it was to come like this season, I don't think they would support.
Can I also
just
just
and
say,
also, by
we'd
the
be
way,
fucked.
we'd be fucked. Like if we went and sold Cucurella, like okay,
Literally
brilliant.
don't have a left back.
Who do we get?
Yeah, Theo Hernandez. We'd have to go and get Theo.
Yeah, Lewis Hall.
We
Right.
do need a backup left back so urgently. I don't
We
know why that's not the most important signing of the window.
Fucking hell, I don't know.
Can I just, before you do the team, very quickly, would you sell Malagusto?
Oh,
Just yes or no, because we need to get into the team sheet. This summer, would you sell him? Bid comes in 40 million quid. Would you do it?
from abroad?
PSG.
PSG.
Yeah,
40.
40.
Can you get 60?
No. It's
No?
40 or nothing.
40.
40 or nothing.
Well, not nothing.
I'm walking away at 40.
40 and a PS5, 2 controllers.
Fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, the deal.
Nah, I do
That
it
was
for
an
50.
Arsenal.
I
That
do
was
it for 50.
that was an Arsenal
I
deal.
do it for
40 and 1 million pounds.
I did it for 50, maybe.
No,
Maybe.
I would, mate. I would sell him for 30.
Yeah.
Malagusto.
Yeah.
I would. I would sell him to a Premier League club.
You know who we should sell for about 30? Because I think I'm being deadly serious now. By the time we're able to, although it might be a little bit worth more inflation, I don't know how much, whether it'd be worth more than 30 quid by that point. But Mudryk, your boy, he's not found himself on the end of some very good news.
What is the news?
The news?
No, but literally, what is the news?
Well, the news is that he's got a 4-year ban, isn't it?
No, it's not. This is the thing. You were slacking me off about going in for media bias.
Oh.
The news is that the FA have formally charged him. They haven't convicted him. They have said publicly he has been subject to these drug tests. He's failed the A test. They haven't mentioned the B test, and they haven't talked about any charges or sentencing. So
They've charged him.
They've charged him, but they've not sentenced him.
The FA can't sentence you.
Yeah, but listen to me. Listen to me. You've just said he's banned for 4 years.
Yeah.
He's not banned for 4 years.
Yeah.
The sentence hasn't been deemed out yet, has it?
There often isn't sentences.
No, but listen to this, right? This is exactly what happened with Paul Pogba. We haven't officially, by the Doping Association, we haven't been said Mykhailo Mudryk is now banned for 4 years. That hasn't happened. What they have said in the media, and again, a lot of people have fallen for this, fair enough, is that it could be up to 4 years. Yeah. But everything has happened so far is that it could be 18 months. Now, both of those are very bad for Mykhailo Mudryk.
Pogba's could have been up to 7 years.
I don't think it was. I think it could have been maximum 4. Of what I've been told.
I was reading that his ban could have been up to 7 years.
There you go.
And he's going to be playing next season.
There you go.
And,
For Monaco,
and
which is
I'm
quite
telling you now,
exciting
Mykhailo Mudryk, in my opinion, will also be playing next season. I think he'll be playing by about Christmas time. Would that be 2 years? No, that'd be 1 year. No, following on.
He's out for the season.
I think he'll be out for 2 years.
He'll be out for this season.
Be honest. Are you ready to accept now that, in the grand scheme of things, I know you wanted it to go well. I know you had good intentions for it, but your boy has been a complete fucking flop from start to finish.
No, he hasn't. But no,
Josh,
I disagree with that.
Josh, he signed, right?
Yeah.
For 72 million or something. He was paraded onto the pitch.
Yeah.
He never, ever held down a run in the team. He never scored a Champions League goal for Chelsea Football Club. He never scored even a Europa goal for Chelsea Football Club. He never scored a goal in a cup final. He never scored in back-to-back games, I don't think. Yep. You've got to admit that when we paraded him on the pitch, when we saw that cameo against Liverpool, I think that you think that I take some satisfaction out of this, and I really don't, because I would have loved him to have been the answer. I would have loved him to have been the man. But there are a lot of people on the channel that are going to want me to stick it to you. And there are a lot of people that are going to want to know, how do you feel now knowing that your boy Mykhailo Mudryk's Chelsea career is over, and ultimately, when we look back at the history books of time, he never contributed to Chelsea Football Club.
I just think it's such a shame as a Chelsea fan that you have been conversed and coerced into this narrative. Because what a lot of people that don't watch Chelsea and haven't seen Mykhailo Mudryk play, they say, oh, he's a flop. He's a pace merchant. He's never done anything for Chelsea. Look at some of the goals that he scored. Some of the goals that he scored, Madueke would dream of. Raheem Sterling would dream of. Christopher Nkunku would dream of, right? And you're saying that Mykhailo Mudryk is a flop when we've got players like Sterling and Nkunku still on the books, and they never get anywhere near the amount of stick, right? I have I subscribe to the belief. Now, whether this is true or not, we may never know. But I don't know whether Mykhailo Mudryk knowingly ingested this substance. Okay? So, if you're saying that that is part of your judgment and that he has been banned and therefore he's a flop, I kind of would agree with you in that regard, right? But that's got nothing to do with his playing ability. I think a lot of people from the outside, and I don't think a lot of Chelsea fans believe this, but maybe you're one of them, that he's not a good player and he wouldn't have been able to help us. I said this on the kickoff on Monday, and I believe this. He is a better player than Sancho. He is.
Okay.
He is a better player than Sancho.
But what you did there was you said a lot of people say this, and that, and you didn't.
Perspective.
You didn't name anything that I've said.
No.
So I'm talking about my perspective on Mykhailo Mudryk.
Why is he a flop? Detail it for me.
Why is he a flop? I'll give you my reason why I believe he's a flop. Because he was a high-profile signing, right? The same way that Shevchenko, his fellow countryman, was all those years before, right? High-profile signing for a lot of money, paraded on the pitch. Also had that cameo where we really expected him to do good things, right? I cannot think of a contribution he has made, a serious contribution he has made to Chelsea Football Club that in the plethora of time will go down as a historic contribution to that club. Now, here's...
That's mad.
Why is it mad?
The Arsenal goal was a key moment in the season, got us a draw against Arsenal. The Newcastle goal where he nicks it.
A draw.
Yeah. But we were never going to win that game. Like, we were rubbish. We were in a period where we weren't getting any results against the top six.
Mate, this is where you've gone mental.
But this is
where you've gone mental.
I've just given you one example.
He's in our top 10 signings of all time. Mate, he's in our top 10 fees paid of all time.
Mate, he has barely had a chance to make an impact.
He's had 2 seasons.
He hasn't. He hasn't had 2 seasons. He's had 18 months.
He's had 2 seasons, mate. He's had 2 seasons. He's had January when he's come in. January when he came in. December when he stopped.
And then he was barely out.
So there's 2 seasons worth of football there. Not just. There's 2 seasons worth of football.
He got banned in mid-December.
There's 2 seasons worth of football there. Now, what I'm saying is this. We, predominantly, when we have splashed out big money, have unfortunately fallen short. So let's say, for example, when we look at Lukaku, if we go, oh, yeah, but what was his contributing factor? You go, oh, well, nothing, right? You can even go about a Kai Havertz who will make that top 10 list of signings that we've ever made, right? You can go about Kai Havertz. You can say whatever you want about him. You can slag him off, whatever. He still scored the winner in a Champions League final, yeah? He still did score the winner in a Champions League final. And there will be more flops than there are not, but I'm just saying he falls into the flop category. It's not... What you said at the start was you went, that he's just a pace merchant and that he's that he doesn't score great goals and whatever. Never said any of that. I said the goal against fucking Noah was one of the best goals that I've ever been too drunk to not see. But I'm just saying, when all's said and done, if 2 years ago I had said to you 2 years on, no massive injuries, anything like that, 2 years on, this is the level of contribution you've got, you then would have said, oh, I'd class that as disappointing.
I'm going to put it this simply. I think that if Mykhailo Mudryk had been available for the entirety of last season, he would have had more goal impacts than a lot of other players that were playing for Chelsea at the time. For example, a Jadon Sancho. I feel like Noni Madueke would have beaten him by 1 or 2 goal involvements. You look at the previous season, that's what Noni Madueke did to Mykhailo Mudryk. I think he was up by 1 or 2 in the Premier League goal involvements in the 2023-24 season, right? So he would have arguably been a similar amount, if not slightly more. Right?
Funny that you say that, because Jadon Sancho played about, what, in total for Chelsea? Half as many games as Mudryk?
Yeah.
And you like to talk about these Mudryk bangers.
Go on.
Jadon Sancho has scored more bangers for Chelsea Football Club than Mykhailo Mudryk has.
This is the thing, though. I'm not talking about just bangers. I think Mykhailo Mudryk has done bangers.
No,
but I think he's scored.
I think
he's scored about goals as well. But this is the thing, right? Ultimately, the drugs ban has impacted the way that people will remember him, and he will arguably go down as a flop because of the drugs ban. He can't play for Chelsea. That's quite obvious. We'll also lose money on him because of the impact. But the fact is if he would have been able to play, he would have fitted into the Enzo Maresca system beautifully. And I honestly feel that he would have been able to make it and be a good player for Chelsea.
I just love how we're just letting that way. He would have fitted into the Enzo Maresca system.
He would have
beautifully. No, I know he would have.
This is the do you know what's really funny about this? And this will be the last thing on this because it is quite funny now. But when Mykhailo Mudryk leaves Chelsea, he will go on to have a very good career in football.
Yeah, probably will. Probably will. Right, the team sheet that we will be picking. This is our preferred team sheet. Robert Sanchez, a little bit of a howler last time out, but I don't really fancy rotating the goalkeeper. Yeah, well,
it was he had worse. A shite game.
I don't really fancy rotating the goalkeeper on this last game. It's a key fixture. It's one that we need to be winning. We are going to rotate when it comes to the right back. Joshua Changpong's going to come in here, and the right hand side is looking a little bit different, but we'll talk you through it as we get there. We're going to go Tosin Adarabioyo with Levi Colwell, Kukureya as the left back. He will inevitably invert and help support the likes of Caicedo and Andre Santos. This is crucial. If we don't get this boy on the pitch for this game, I think that very, very serious implications are to come when we speak about his future as a Chelsea Football Club player. Cole Palmer in the 10. We're going to go with Madueke over on the right-hand side. We've not seen him there a lot recently because of the use of Reece James and the fact that whoever's over on that right-hand side, if you've got Reece James there, is going to need to do a fair bit of running. They're going to need to help out, support, cover the flanks. Noni Madueke doesn't do that as much. He likes to work it onto his left foot and shoot. He was very, very good at doing that earlier on in the season. Let's see if he can replicate it again in this match. And then Pedro Neto, who has been our player of the Club World Cup so far, is going to start over on the left-hand side. No doubt he swaps over to the right-hand side at some point in the match. Or if we're winning comfortably, we may just see him come off. But for me, it's all about Cole Palmer and Liam Delap starting through the middle, the number 9. Liam Delap really needs to contribute in this match, doesn't he, Josh? And the Cole Palmer, Liam Delap link-up is something that we really, really want to see here because it's going to encourage us massively moving forward, isn't it?
It really is. And those two together have a connection that has been forged over years. And I do think they'll get the best out of each other. Mate, let's be honest. 30 million quid for Liam Delap is a really good deal.
Yeah.
He is going to be the starting number 9. He's going to reduce the number 9 curse to ashes. And I do think he'll score a lot of goals. Do you think he'll score more goals than Nicholas Jackson did in this season, next season?
Yeah, probably, because he only got 14 in the end.
Yeah.
So, do you know, Liam Delap has said he has never taken a throw-in in his life.
Which is such a shame. Because I feel like he'd be bloody good at them.
I know. But then, just because your parents was good at saying, you know what I mean? My mum was a porn star, doesn't mean that I'm going to...
The video evidence lies.
Yeah. Right, people, we will see you in the post-match review for Chelsea against ES Tunis.